Alrighty, so this video we are looking at the 2011 actual external. And the one that we're wanting to look at is further down. And we're going straight to this one here. Okay. So on the grid below, sketch this graph. So what would you do first? What happens when x equals 0? What does y equal? Negative 0 minus 2 times 0 plus 4, correct? So y equals? What? You're going to have negative 2 times 4. What's that? Thank you. 8. So when x is 0, y is 8. Does that make sense? So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, that's my 8. Does that make sense? Now what's another key feature of a graph? Like this. We've got a y-intercept. What would be another intercept to do? X-intercept. So how would I get the x-intercept? How would I get that? The x-intercept happens when y equals 0. Correct? So we need to solve 0 equals negative x minus 2 x plus 4. Okay? And how do we solve that? What are the solutions? X equals? 2. Or x equals negative 4. Because we are saying either this equals 0, and then it doesn't matter what that equals, or this equals 0, and it doesn't matter what that is. Because anything times 0 is 0, and 0 times anything is 0. So if one of these factors, because it's just one number times another, so if one of them is 0, the answer is 0. So we've got 2 and negative 4. So x is 2, it's going to be there, and negative 4 is going to be here. Okay? So now we've got 3 points. What's another key feature of a parabola? The vertex, yeah. So if I'm going to go, I'm going to try and find out what's halfway between negative 4 and 2.
0. No. 1.
Negative 1. Because negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. So I'm taking the average of the two, or you can just do it visually. So what am I going to do with that negative 1? That's my x value. How do I find my y value? I plug it into the equation. So x is negative 1. So then I've got y equals negative, what's minus 1 minus 2?
3.
And what's minus 1 plus 4?
3.
3. So what's that going to be?
0.
No. Negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. Times the negative, it's positive 9. So we're going to have that point there. So now I could sketch my parabola going through that point. That's a horrible sketch. You get the idea. Now what we're going to do is get the calculator out. Okay, so we go menu, and then we go graph, and then we execute, and then we go minus, and we go x minus 2, x plus 4, execute. Now we look at the graph that we're given, and we get that it's maybe, if I go shift view window, what's my x minimum? So my x minimum is here. So I'm going to go 2, 4, 6, a 10. So that's 10, and that's negative 10, should I say. That's 2, 4, 5. That's positive 5. What's up here? That's 10, and that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's negative 10. So on my calculator, I'm going to put the same setting as the thing I'm going to have to draw on. So my x minimum is negative 10. My x max is 5. My scale is 1. My y minimum is negative 10. My y max is 10. My scale is 1. Now I can actually get what it's supposed to look like. Now it's a bit skewed because it's a rectangle instead of a square, but you get it. Now I'm going to go, oopsie.
Yes.
Yep.
How come you only put 5 on the right and not on the left?
Oh, because I copied from here. From here, that was negative 10, and that was, isn't it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I was actually just doing what was on the grid I was given. Now, what I'm going to go is I'm going to go Shift G solve. I'm going to go root, and I get the negative 4, and I'm going to push that thing to the right, and I get the 2. So those were my negative 4 and 2. Then I'm going to go Shift G solve, and I'm going to get the max. And that's the negative 1, 9. This point here was my max. And then I'm going to go Shift G solve, and I'm going to get the y-intercept, which is the 0, 8. Okay? So it all comes from the calculator if you need to draw a graph. But you can also do it yourself.
How do you get the how do you get the shape? Like, how do you know the curve of it?
Which one's it?
What you can do, if you wanted to plot more points, you can use table or you can use trace. So if I go Shift G solve, oh, where's the trace? Shift trace is here. You can actually just move along. So if you wanted to plot a few more points, you could do that. But you can sketch the shape. I mean, my shape doesn't look great. What you must do is make sure that you've got arrows on the end. Okay? Make sure the vertex actually goes through the key features. Don't stop here. Okay? But it doesn't need to be perfect, correct. And then the other thing you can do, there's actually a table function. So if you go menu and you go table, you can actually put here, if you set it, you can go start at negative 5 and end at 5, and you step 1 and push table. Oh, exit. What happened? How do I set my table? Negative 5, end 5, step 1, execute, execute. Condition error. I don't know what was going funny with my calculator there. I just reset it and it seemed to work. Could have been something to do with putting it in on the computer. So I've put that in. I can set it. I can start at negative 5, end at 5, do a step of 1, and then you've actually got the points. Negative 5, 7, negative 4, 0, negative 3, 5. Okay? Does that make sense? So you can plot it that way. The other thing is we know that the scale factor is actually 1. So if we'd have had that, we could have gone across 1 down 1, across 1 down 3, across 1 down 5, that sort of thing. But you've got to watch the scale on that. So I could have done a better job of drawing that. Anyhow, we'll move on to the next question. Should we just push done for that, I think?